So the Burning Crusade has just been released and you want to be a Fury Warrior. Let's give you a quick guide on how to be the best one on release. Quickly before we start, I want to shout out my Twitch stream where we go live every Sunday, Tuesday and Wednesday from 7:30 till 11 PM UK playing WoW, answering all your Fury Warrior questions. And if you want to further support us, then please do consider giving this video a like, subscribing to the channel and turning on your notifications. Anyway, on with the video. So Fury Warrior in the Burning Crusade is a lot of fun. It's very different to retail, especially if you're here as a retail player, considering most of my channel is about retail. It's a very different class to play. There's certain aspects of the character and certain aspects of the class that don't play the same way in which they do in retail, which actually makes for a nice bit of fun and a kind of a breath of fresh air, especially in between 9 and 9.1 and the fact that we've got no content. So jump on the Burning Crusade, become a Fury Warrior, buy a boost, doesn't matter. So let's start off with talents and stat priority. Obviously we're in the Burning Crusade Classic here, so we have talent trees and these are lovely, lovely things. I've missed these things. So this is the standard build, unless you are told otherwise by your guild to do with demoralizing shout, this is the build you're going to be going for. If you are tasked by your raid leader to be the demoralizing shout person, then you just change one of your spec points out and they'll let you know which one that one's going to be. But this is the generic talent build for Fury Warriors. You're putting 17 into your first tree and 44 into your next tree. Loads of little intricacies in here which help the class just run better. And like I said, if your task is demoralizing shout, then you'll be told that by your raid lead. It means instead of going into Unbridled Wrath, you go into improved demoralizing shout, and that becomes your thing to do and your thing to keep up during the entire raid. It's very, very cookie cutter. Go for this build and you put out the best damage you can. So stat priority, again, this is also very, very different, but let's go over the kind of the intricacies within this and some of the things you need to be aware of. So in the Burning Crusade Classic, you have percentages that you want to hit, and that first one's going to be hit rating at 9%, followed by your expertise at 6.25. And then the following three stats are kind of dynamic and they will always be changing. And that is crit rating, strength or attack power, and armor penetration. And these will change as the expansion goes on. These will change with your gear. Go with what's going to do best for you. There are add-ons for the game that's going to help you manage your kind of best gear and best in slot kind of things. And again, like things like eye level do take into account during this. So these ones are dynamic and they will change. And then finally, you have your haste rating. So that is the generic order you want to be prioritizing your gear in when you're getting it and your stats as they drop. Next, we're going to want to take a look at the rotation because this is significantly different if you've come from retail. So the idea is that you're not going to want to reach your rage cap. Unlike in retail, you can accidentally hit your rage cap in retail, that's fine. But in classic, you're really not want to do it, and you're going to be doing that through casting spells like Bloodthirst and Whirlwind. Throughout the entire time as well, you're going to ensure that you want to keep your rampage buff up. But the generic rotation looks like this. During execute phase, this is obviously going to be the priority at 20%. You're going to be using Bloodthirst on cooldown, Whirlwind on cooldown. You're going to then want to be casting Rampage to refresh Rampage before the buff falls off, but you don't want to delay your Bloodthirst or Whirlwind with this. So do it when there's a couple seconds left on the other two spells. You then got Heroic Strike and Hamstring, which you're going to be using just to kind of dump your rage if you've gone over the top. And that's your simple single target, so let's go into the multi-target. Once again, you have me using your execute at 20% or lower, Whirlwind on cooldown and Bloodthirst on cooldown, casting Rampage and refreshing it before the cooldowns on the other two spells go off. And then here you want to be making sure that you're casting your Cleave to use as a extra dumping rage, and your Hamstring as well to dump extra rage. But the Cleave there is the key thing different between the two rotations. And it's simple as that. Obviously it's a lot slower than it is in retail. However, it's a lot of fun. Next, we're going to look at the best consumables to be using in TBC, and some of these will be out release, some of these will be later. Some of them will take a while to get because obviously everyone's trying to level up at the moment. So your best flasks are looking as the Flask of Relentless Assault, and your alternative for this is the Elixir of Major Agility. Your food, you want to be eating your roasted clef hoof, and your alternatives can be Ravager Dog, Spicy Hot Talbot, Warp Burger, or the Grilled Mudfish. Your best potion will always be Haste. You're a Fury Warrior, of course it is. And then your alternatives will be the Insane Strength Potion. And then your weapon buffs will be the following: Wind Fury Weapon, the Adamite Sharpening Stone, or the Adamite Weight Stone. And then you have your Scrolls of Strength and your Scrolls of Agility that you can get as the game goes on, as the content progresses. And because this is classic, it means that there is a better class to be playing, a better race to be playing when you are Fury. So certain combinations of race and class work better. Here they are. If you are Alliance, you want to be going for Human or Draenei. If you're Human, you get Sword Specialization and Mace Specialization, so you get your buffs on those two. And if you're going for Draenei, you're going to be getting the Heroic Presence buff from that. Then if we jump over to the Horde, your Orcs are going to be having the Axe Specialization and Blood Fury, whereas Trolls get your Berserking. So pick it around that. If you're going Alliance, pick one of those two. See what works better for you. If you're going for Horde, pick the best out of those two that are going to work best for you and how you play and what you feel like doing. And then the last part of this guide is going to be gear. Because gear is ever changing in Classic and you always have a best in slot pre-raid or post-raid or during phase 1 and phase 2, On the screen right now, I'm going to put up all the pre-raid best in slot items to get, and then the second sort of images is going to be all your phase 1 best in slot. So look at the screen now, I'll keep it up for a little bit. I'm not going to talk through them because there's a lot of gear to go through, but these are the things that you want to be aiming for in phase 1 and in pre-raid phase run. So when Karazhan drops and so on and so forth. As the game progresses, these will change, and in phase 2, phase 3, there'll be different sets of pre-bis and best in slot that you want to be going for. And that's the guide, and that is how you play Fury Warrior. It's a simpler time, wasn't it, back then, playing World of Warcraft. So the actual class itself isn't as massive as it is now, but it's still a lot of fun to play. And I'm going to be jumping on tonight and over the next week or so. I'm getting a boost because I can't be bothered to level a warrior. Everyone knows it's the worst thing to level as a warrior, and it's going to be a lot of fun. If you're in the EU, hit me up down below in the comments and we can play together at some point, hopefully from the same server. I think I'm going to be on Firemore. Not too sure. PvP makes me sad sometimes. But I hope you found that guide useful. If you have, leave a like, comment and subscribe down below. As always, it's a pleasure. See you in the next video. Bye bye.